Hey everybody, welcome to the Jim Masters Show live. How are you and you and you? Good to see you. Nice to see you in there. I can see all of you. Some of you are dressed up. Some of you are casual. Some of you are in your pajamas. Really depends on what time of day it is, wherever you're watching this live. I am your host, Jim Masters, and welcome to our entertainment lifestyle talk show series that we started 17 weeks ago called the Jim Masters Show Live, because we do come to you every single night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, live worldwide on YouTube at Jim Masters TV and also on Facebook at Jim Masters TV. We have a lot of fun, a lot of light, love, levity, and levity, as we call it here, with amazing guests from all walks of life, genres, and formats, and just so many incredible people who are coming on this show because they want to have fun. They want to tell their story. They want to engage with our audience. And I love having them here. And we love having you guys here as well. Hope you had a good day today. And I see our guest is there. That's a good sign. I see his head. He is actor and comedian SAM KWASMAN. And he was fiddling around trying to make sure that everything was good on his end with the video and the audio, and everything is looking good. So he's ready to go in just a moment. And I hope you guys are as well. Wherever you're watching from, if this is the very first time you're watching the Jim Masters Show Live, this is an entertainment lifestyle talk show series that we started 17 weeks ago, over 120 shows, I believe, somewhere around there, that we have done live nightly, and we archive them all on YouTube and Facebook at Jim Masters TV. Now, if you want to have some laughs, stick with us, because he is a veteran actor, veteran comedian, also a voiceover artist, and he's done the voices of so many incredible characters over the years as well. He's truly a veteran in show business and in the industry, and it's our honor and pleasure to have him here, and he'll be joining us in just a minute. How is everybody doing today? Of course, on this show, we greet everybody in style. We have our glass. We welcome everybody. Again, I'm your host, Jim Masters. We welcome you to our entertainment lifestyle talk show series, where, again, we have a lot of fun, information, entertainment, education, and who knows whatever else happens on this show. Anything can happen. Anything goes when you're live. That's for sure. Very nice. Just a little juice. That's all it is. Just a little juice of the non-alcoholic kind. George Burns is here, and George greets you. He says hello. He's watching everybody. He says hello to everybody, making sure you guys are doing well today. Hope you're having a good day. I see lots of comments here already. Again, veteran and icon actor and comedian SAM KWASMAN is here. You'll recognize him from so many incredible productions, TV commercials, movies, animation. You'll recognize his voice, comedy clubs, and so much more. George will be sitting by watching. He loves comedy. And we're so excited that Sam is here all the way in direct live from California, joining us on this episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. Jeannie's here. Jeannie greets all of you. Jeannie is hoping you're doing well. She sees all of you. She sends you her best. Silver is here. These are all cast members who joined us on the show a while ago. And there is our friend Silver, the Silver Lab. Came from Europe when we were on a TV shoot. He greets all of you. He hopes you guys are doing well. And of course, we have another cast member here. We've got quite a cast here of cast members, which is really cool. Jimmy is here, and Jimmy greets all of you. And Jimmy says hello. He says, hi, how are you? Again, we want to put smiles on your face. We're live every single night. We do show after show after show. A lot of work goes into these shows, a lot of production value and so much more. And we love doing it for all of you. And thanks for all the tagging and all the support and the love and the levity and sharing the links. And so much buzz and activity has been happening about this show. We are booked with guests almost into November now, which is extraordinary. Some of my celebrity friends, some of the folks I've known over the years in a variety of fields, from television and music, film, Broadway, Hollywood, science and health and wellness and food and sports and comedy and music coming on board, and a lot of other people telling each other about our series here. Again, this is fashioned like an actual television show. This is not a podcast. I've been a television radio personality, presenter, host, journalist, actor, writer, producer, voiceover artist, narrator, stage MC for a long time on network and local and regional television, national television as well as radio, and so much more. So we're using all that experience to have created this sort of television show of entertainment, lifestyle, and talk shows. And our very special guest, Sam Kwasman, will be joining us in just a minute. You will recognize him from so many different performances. Let's dig up a nice picture here to show you. Again, here's one when he was doing Comedians in Cars with Seinfeld, which of course is a legend as well. And there's so many incredible performances here that he's been involved in. We're so excited to have him here. He even danced in MAME as well. There's Sam. And in MAME, yeah, the movie MAME with Lucille Ball. He's not only a veteran actor, but an incredible performer and involved in so many productions. And we're so excited to have him here on the show. First, let's greet all of you, and we do it in style. We've done the toast. We've introduced our cast of characters. We do this as well. It's all about lights, camera, and action here on the Jim Master Show Live. Oh, yeah, we pull out all the stops. High-level production value, of course, only the best for you guys. Lights, camera, action. The Jim Master Show is live. Good to see everybody here. Our official welcome. Now that we remembered to do this, sometimes we forget. We got so busy and wrapped up with the show itself. A lot of comments. Let's greet our fabulous audience here, and then we will welcome our guest live and direct as he gets himself all situated for our conversation today. We're going to have a lot of fun today. Good evening, Jim and Lovedies. Christine Clifton, great show ahead with Sam Kwasman. Absolutely. Kathy Short is here. Good evening from Cleveland. Good to see you, Kathy. Christine, of course, in North Carolina. Kathy in Cleveland, Ohio. Linda Odell. Good evening, Mr. Lovedy. Good evening, Lovedies. Everybody here on the show, if you're watching for the first time, I always say the show is positive, inspirational, a lot of fun, right? As well as sometimes we get into deep conversations too, as well, about life, about everything that's going on in our lives. But I went and said Lovedy, and that became part of our image and part of the show now. So everybody that watches is part of the Lovedies. Our guests, once they're on the show, they're now incorporated into being a Lovedy as well. And this is all Lovedy here on the show. And we all sort of created this together, the viewers and myself. That's teamwork. Good to see you, Linda, in Florida. Welcome to the show today. Mary Bishop is here. Hello, Jim, and all from Pine Island, Florida. Our viewer of the week is watching, Christopher Joseph. He wants to say hi to all the Lovedies tonight. Renee in Iowa is here. She's saying hello as well. She's in Iowa. Good to see you, Renee. And hello, Jim and Peeps from Christine Fairwood in Connecticut. Merlin is watching. Hi, all Lovedies. She's in Canada. There's Linda as well. They're all saying hello to everybody. Renee Katz. Happy Wednesday, Jim and Lovedies to you as well in the Midlands of Flushing, Queens. And happy Wednesday, everyone. Hope you all had a wonderful day. And in SoCal, you as well. Kathy's saying welcome to all of the Lovedies. And that's a really nice thing to say. Everybody's welcoming each other. The Jim Masters TV Live, you got it, absolutely. And everybody's toasting and everybody's cheering everybody. It's good to see all these great comments coming in here. We're in the zone, you got it, absolutely. Christopher Baker's here. Hello, everyone. Another great day for the show. Every day is a great day for the show. And everybody is saying welcome, Sam, to Lovedy Hole here at the Jim Masters Show Live. Everybody is fabulous. Hot day in North Carolina. Sure is. Let me show you something. We're going to first show you a little bit about our great guest, Sam. I want to show you a reel that we have, which goes over his incredible body of work. And then we're going to have him come back. We'll introduce him, we'll welcome him, and then we'll talk about his career. We'll welcome him to the show as well. So take a look at this amazing footage that we have, part of his incredible reel, and you'll recognize some things here as well from his body of work, years of acting, years of voiceover work, animated characters, comedy. He's a legendary comedian as well. Give you a little sample of it, you enjoy, and then we'll be back and we will welcome our very special guest, Sam Kwasman, to the show. Here it is, everybody. Enjoy this. This is amazing.
drive, it can always get around, which could be the difference between your having a normal life this winter and no life. The four-wheel drive RX.
It's A&E's and Evening at the Improv.
Here's Sam KWASMAN.
Well, Mr. James, it's always a pleasure to start a relationship with a new patient. Don't have to ask you what business you're in. Sit down. Is it all right if I sit here? Fine, wherever you're comfortable. Well, what seems to be the problem?
Well, Doctor, Frank here wants to break up the act and go out on his own.
The dummy wants to go out on his own.
He says I'm holding him back.
Mr. James, you of course realize that he can't do anything without you.
Well, that's the way it started, but Frank here is really developed as an entertainer. I think he's got what it takes to be a star, a big star.
Well, thank you, Denny.
Why do you think Frank wants to go out on his own?
Doc, I've outgrown the man creatively.
Mr. James, are things going well professionally?
Yeah, we're just starting to do great.
Well, possibly this fantasy you have about Frank leaving is basically because you're afraid of success.
He's terrified, Doctor, and not just of success. He's scared to try anything new. Last week, we put the glass of water trick in the act.
Oh, yes, I've seen that one. How'd it work out?
It was perfect.
No, it wasn't, Danny. Oh, I didn't want to say anything, but you were supposed to drink the water.
And that's when you decided to... And that's when you decided to leave the act.
You got it, Doc. Say, listen. Why don't you give us a minute by yourselves? Grab yourself a cup of coffee, will you?
You want me to go outside?
Do I stutter, Doc?
Okay. Fine. I'll be right outside if you need me.
Love you, Doc.
Did you leave a patient in there by himself?
Kind of, yeah. Oh, Mr. James, how'd it go?
Not too well.
That's too bad. Well, why don't we go back in and pick it up from where we started?
Not right now, Doctor. Frank said he'd like to talk to you alone.
TV! The Foster! Abigail, over here! That's it! It's Foster! KCBY TV. What? KCBY TV. What are you doing? 4 o'clock news. John Jerry. What? Right over here. You rolling? Rolling? Come on, let's go. Come on.
I got about as much chance of winning the lottery as winning a beauty pageant. I'll take a ticket, please.
Mrs. Keaton? I thought you were wonderful myself. Great vocal ability. Get your material, honey, that's all.
Mind your own business, Corky.
No, let him speak.
Well, it's those songs you're singing. It's not what everyone today wants to hear. They have too much meaning. Sure, you and I can relate to them. But what about guys like Dennis here?
I gotta admit, I couldn't follow it.
But those are the songs I want to sing.
Then sing for your own pleasure. Forget the audience. If you believe in yourself, they'll believe in you.
Corky makes an excellent point, Elise.
Thanks, Steve. Let's have lunch.
can't keep a Butterfinger quiet.
When you bite a Butterfinger bar,
It's so easy to identify it.
The sound of Butterfinger candy bar.
Crunchy honeycomb,
peanut butter too.
got the chocolatey.
They sing to you.
No, you can't keep a Butterfinger quiet.
When you bite a Butterfinger, bite a Butterfinger, bite a Butterfinger candy bar.
And in Libya, we have Gaddafi duck. Somewhere in the Middle East, we have Yasser Arafat. Maybe let's have a little conversation between the two. Maybe have Gaddafi call up Yasser, be something like this, you know. Let me see. Let me give Yasser a call. Gio, what would he do? Yes, sir, that's my baby. No, sir, I don't mean maybe. Yes. Yasser, 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 Yasser. Hey, Yasser, where are you? What are you doing? God, that hurts. Oh. Be very, very quiet. Have you seen it as well around here?
This is ABC.
I love some ice cream.
Looking for me?
Mickey Mouse, is that you?
You can taste the magic of Disney frozen treats.
School's out, and I'm hungry. I want treats. Donald!
They're cool and delicious, filled with fresh laughter.
I can only eat what's okay with Mom.
No problem. Goofy's here.
Oh, Goofy.
And pure fantasy. Wholesome, refreshing Disney frozen treats.
You can taste the magic of Disney frozen treats.
Well, I guess I should tell you a little bit about myself before I go any further. I came from a mixed marriage. Yeah, my father was a blood and my mother was a Crip. He used to dress me up in a plaid shirt and send me to school, and everybody beat the hell out of me. I'm sick and tired of these gangs. We got all kinds of gangs. We got the skinheads here, and they hate everybody, so I formed my own gang. It's a Jewish gang. We call ourselves the Foreskins.
And 20. There you go.
Hey, how many are in here? This can't be 30.
That's right, it's 15.
Well, I always get 30.
Dr. Bonham called in 15.
Then why am I paying so much?
Everything's gone up.
Boy, if I didn't need these...
Come back and see us again, will you?
Creep.
Gordon, I'm hungry. Where are you?
What is she, a banker or a nurse? I'm late for court.
Gordon, you know I like it cut in 8 pieces. You're such a good boy. What would you do without me?
Take care of my law firm. Get to go out with a girl, go to a movie, get to go out with a girl, have a beer with the guys, get to go out with a girl, get married, raise a family, go on vacation, visit your grave, and then tomorrow night I could just... Look, Ma, I'm sorry I said that, but... Do you know how long it's been since me and a girl, since we had made with a girl? Where's the nurse?
What happened to the lady who was here yesterday?
Would you stay with someone that pinched you and shoved your shoes down a toilet? She quit just like all the others. Thank God!
Mr. Hoochmeyer?
Hockheiser.
Forget it. Not a chance.
Why? What's wrong?
Look, I was here once before, and ain't no way you're gonna get me to take care of that mother of yours.
Well, she's no trouble now.
Is she dead?
No.
Then forget it.
Well, won't you reconsider? Look, I'll kill her. I'm in an awful fix. I'm late for work.
Why don't you just leave her alone?
I'm not allowed. It's in the lease. Last time she almost burned the building down.
Look, she don't want nobody to take care of her but you. I ain't staying. Ain't enough money in this world.
$100. You can leave at 6.
Mr. Hoochmeyer, now that's out of this world.
Hello. Yes, Miss Morgiani. I know I'm late. I couldn't find anyone to take care of my mother, and I know. Okay, I'll have to meet you at the courthouse.
Yes, all right. You bring the files. How can I find time to read them? You know my mother Look, just meet me at the courthouse.
And there he is.
Still in the shadows. A little dark, huh? How are you?
Fantastic. Welcome to the show. My God, we're going through memory lane there. I remember lots of that material, especially, of course, the Bob Newhart. I mean, that is, whose favorite episode is that? Is that Seinfeld's favorite or Conan's?
Conan.
Conan's favorite. I remember that with the ventriloquist doll. Yeah.
Well, it's really strange that show, it was a long time ago, and I was going to be a semi-regular on the series, and Bob quit, and that was it. And here it is, decades later in the Wall Street. Well, Bob turned 90. And the Wall Street Journal did something on it, and the Hollywood Reporter did something on it, and the Wall Street Journal did the top 10 of every season. I came out number 2 with my performance with Bob for that season. That was his last season.
Yeah.
And then Hollywood Reporter asked all these celebrities, what they liked about the Bob Newhart show or Bob Newhart. And Conan says, hey, I was a kid. I saw this ventriloquist thing. It was the funniest thing I ever saw. I want to be a comedian. It got me into comedy. So I'm somewhat responsible or irresponsible for Conan, and I haven't heard from him, but I thanked him. And Bob, he interviews Bob, and Bob says it's his favorite episode. And we had a whole bunch of stuff. They were going to have me in therapy, but it was the end of the show. So,
would the therapy have helped, you think, or
I think it would have helped me personally. Yeah.
Whatever came of the doll, of the ventriloquist?
I still have them.
Oh, you do? So was it part of the show and then they let you have it?
No, it was I'll tell you what happened. I was at the Comedy Store doing those jokes that you heard.
Yeah.
I was developing that material, and and I decided to do a ventriloquist bit because I could do it when I was in junior high school. I learned to do, ventriloquism, and I thought it'd be fun. So I wrote a whole routine where the dummy falls apart, and I, blindfold him, and I make him guess what people are holding up in the audience. He gets it wrong, and he doesn't want to work with me. And then I find out there's this ad in Variety, because back then there was no internet, there was no social media, there was, phone calls, no cell phones. So I called them up and said, it looks like you want to do my act in your show. She goes, really? I go, yeah, I'm at the Comedy Store, and you described my act. She says, well, come on in and show it to us. So I came in, I showed him the act. I dropped the dummy's body. I stuck his head up his butt. I turned him around. I did all these crazy things with him. And they said, okay, come in Monday and do the show. That was pretty much it. They laughed at my little 6-minute comedy act. So that's how I became a ventriloquist. I was just an actor who could do it.
So you were an actor who could do it, and then, but the way you delivered those lines, the straight lines, were so perfect. I mean, it was so believable. We wanted Bob to go back in to talk to the doll.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a very, very easy week. Suzanne Plachette was wonderful.
Yeah.
She gave me a little kiss before I went on. And I said, I have a girlfriend. She goes, so what? I have a husband. He's right over there.
He's right over there. He's watching.
Yeah, he's watching me kiss you on the cheek. So she was a doll. Peter Bonners was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal actor. I was kind of tongue-tied around him, but Bob, I was very comfortable. I mean, he is what you see on television, what he was off stage. He was very easy to talk to, and we worked out that rhythm,
The timing, was perfect. And and he originally was an accountant, right? He started as an accountant. Yeah.
Well, what you learn from him is the joke, the funny, the comedy, the laughter is in the pauses.
That's right.
And if you watch him, it's just his reaction, and people are just screaming, they're laughing.
That's what Johnny Carson knew so well as well, with his facial reactions and just looking when somebody would say something outlandish, like if Shelley Winters was on or you know, any of the guests were on there, he would just look at the camera, go, and that would be as funny as whatever the joke was or whatever is happening. Really, it's an understanding of the timing. His timing is crucial with comedy, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's the pauses. It's the pauses. I mean, when I was doing the Ice House and you saw me do those jokes about the Middle East and stuff like that, or the stuff about Gaddafi Duck and all that, I mean, I could barely get out of line and they were screaming, you know, and it was just a lot of fun, you know, a lot of fun.
Absolutely. A lot of people welcoming you here as well.
Oh, thank you.
Loving the clips. Yeah, loving the clips that they saw. Christine is welcoming you, and hilarious clips over the years as well. How did you first get started in acting? What were those early years like for you, Sam?
Well, you know, I was 8 years old, and all I did all day was do cartoon voices and run around and dance and act and do funny stuff. And
that was just yesterday.
Yes, of course. It was just the other day. And the teachers told my parents, you know, this kid, you know, put him in one of those singing, dancing, acting schools. So they sent me over to the Jerry Singer Dance Studio, and you learn to sing, dance, act, hula, Hawaiian stuff, baton twirling, whatever.
Everything.
So it was tap, ballet, and jazz at 8, and singing and acting. And, you know, I had a lot of potential. And then I went to junior high and gave it up. And a friend of mine in junior high was a ventriloquist. He had a little book called Paul Winchell's Ventriloquism for Fun and Profit. I thought, well, it might be fun to do.
Paul Winchell was so terrific. Yeah.
Oh, genius. I met him many years ago.
Did you? Did you ever meet Edgar Bergen too?
No, never met Edgar Bergen, but
Charlie McCarthy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was a terrific comedy writer, comedian. And so it just kind of evolved, but I gave it up. And then in high school, I was like the only boy in girls dance. And I was a pole vaulter in high school. And we did the musicals, like, you know, but we did the Pirates of Penzance, things like that.
Yeah.
So at 19, I was taking dancing and acting classes and singing classes because I wanted, was a passion. I was going to college. And there was an audition for a show called Disney on Parade. And the choreographer was Anna White, and she had just won the Academy Award for Oliver 2 years earlier. So I'll speed this up a little. So I get the job, and she has me, you know, in rehearsal. And a friend of mine named Chick Veneer is a big actor, did Yanks and all these big movies, was in the show. And he sat down at the piano in a break and played songs and did singing impressions. So I sat down at the piano and played and did a bunch of cartoon voices. One was Donald Duck. And I wound up as the voice of Donald Duck for the show, Disney on Parade. You see it today as Disney on Ice. What they skated, we ran, called ourselves Holiday on Wood. And I did it live, 10 to 14 shows a week. And then I did it for every show after that from 1970 to 1976. And Anna was responsible for, you know, discovering me for this little duck. And I did What's My Line to promote the show in New York. And I did all these radio shows, and I perfected the voice because I did it live. And, you know, was working on it all the time. And then I went over to the studio.
Can you do it now? Can you still do the voice?
Oh, sure. Hello, but I was never the.
Can you say hello to all the lovedies?
Hello, lovelies.
You know, the end part is a little Nixon too.
Yeah, a little Nixon. Yeah. So
fantastic.
So, you know, I just did records and toys, but Ducky Nash was the original voice, and he was still alive. And you know, I just did, and I'd asked him once. I said, you know, how come you're not using Ducky? And they said, well, we wanted you. And I thought, you know, I felt a little odd. But when he passed away, I wound up doing all those, you know, the Gold Bond ice cream commercial you saw, and Totally Mini, the album, and you know, all the Mickey Mouse electronic audio animated, all these toys.
Yeah. Everything. I mean, I think it was a big flashback for a lot of people's lives and watching that. That was Sam. That was Sam. That was Sam. That was unbelievable. I mean, really, just getting picked for everything. What would you say was the Disney on Ice thing sort of the big break that led to everything, or were there breaks that became bigger and bigger as you went along?
Well, as I went along, it got bigger and bigger. But Anna, it was Disney on Parade. It was a dance show, and my first dance company was with a guy named Patrick Swayze. This is my best dance part. He was Prince Charming in the Disney show. I was the lead alligator in Fantasia. And I'm thinking, why would they choose him to be Prince Charming over me?
Wow.
I had no idea. We were stupid kids.
It was just long flowing locks, I guess, maybe. Or
yeah, I guess it was the hair. I don't know. I had a Jufro. What are you going to do? That doesn't look like Prince Charming. Now, he was a great guy. And he did a great Donald Duck.
Really?
And he did it in Spanish. He could do it in Spanish.
Wow.
Yeah, he was very, very talented. He deserved to be where he was. He was really a star. You know, and I used to tease him about it. So.
Yeah. So that was like another big break, you would say?
Yeah. It was a big break because Anna went to choreograph the movie MAME with Lucille Ball.
Yes.
And I auditioned for it, and she picked me in front of Lucy, and she goes, "Oh, Lucy, this is Sam. You know, he's Donald Duck. You know, do Donald Duck for." I did Donald Duck for Lucy, and Lucy goes, "That's pretty good." You know, she was a very serious woman.
Yes. And
she did everything. That she worked very hard at what she did. And when I was on the set, which I gave you some pictures.
Yeah.
And she would tell me stories. You know, because I was a kid. I was like 23, and I was jumping over hedges. They needed a guy my age to be able to do all that. She had other dancers who were really good, and they were about in their 40s. Oh, that's Marilee Magnuson I'm holding up there, and the blonde. She was a star of the Broadway show Nonsense.
That's right. Yeah, our great friend Dan Goggin.
Yeah.
Yeah, the creator of Nonsense is a dear friend, and he was on just a couple of weeks ago as well. Yeah, he's wonderful. Dan.
And she was the star of the first unit of Disney on Parade. She was Alice in Alice in Wonderland. She was the star of that show. And then the next unit was Snow White, which I did, and I was an original cast member. So she hires me to do MAME, and then that's Hello Dolly with Martha Ray. I was the head waiter.
Martha Ray.
Yes, opening night, she pinches me on the butt. And I turn around and go, what the? She goes, shh, here. She gives me her card. It says Maggie on it. You have to call her Maggie.
Yes.
She was so talented. She was Bette Midler before there was a Bette Midler.
Before Bette Midler. That's a cool shot of you and Martha Ray. That's classic, huh?
I loved her. She goes to the hotel and goes to the lobby, and she puts some money in the snifter and gets rid of the piano guy and brings the pit pianist, the guy who played for us in on the show, Hello Dolly, and she sings for us. And she sang scat. And she told us she won a contest in Montana when she was like 17, 18, and they brought her down for a screen test at MGM, and that's her career started. How about that? And then she could sing like Ella Fitzgerald. She was an amazing singer, but because of her comedy and her, you know, the way she did things, you know, she was known more for that, you know.
Absolutely. So then take us from there, from that early part you said, as your career was just really starting to develop. Were you developing a variety of different skills, obviously, as an actor, as a performer, in so many different ways? What were some of the other areas that you were called upon as you were rising, your star was rising, Sam?
Well, when I was a kid, like I said, as an actor, I was told you should try to learn everything, you know, try to do it. So I learned to sing, dance, act, cartoon voices, impersonation. I went over to the Comedy Store. A friend of mine said, let's go to the Comedy Store. And it was like very early in its career, like 1973, 74, 70, right in there, real early. Comedy Store was just getting going. And I got up and I started doing jokes, and I thought, you know, I could do this. So I started writing material and getting up. And of course, I was more of a variety act than anybody else. And Mitzi, who owned the Comedy Store, said, you know what? We don't have anybody like you. And we're always looking for someone who's unique. And the way you are unique is you. You just do you. And that's what you learn. You know, Letterman, Leno, all these guys, Robin. I worked with Robin. We did medical Shakespeare together.
Robin Williams, yeah.
Yes, Robin would come out and go, "Look, the moon like a testicle hangs low in the sky." And I would go, "Oh, 'tis I, young Frederick, man of 1,000 feces, a pox upon your coccyx sucker." And that's for incest. I knew her well, fellatio. Et tu, uterus. He'd go on. You couldn't keep up.
No, he would just he was unreal. He was
Yeah,
so
is this G-rated, by the way? I'm sorry. I hope I didn't.
We'll find out.
Yeah, oh boy.
Still here?
Robin could get
That's
down
Shakespeare for you.
Yeah, that's Shakespeare. Oh yeah, Shakespeare was filled with dirty words, you know. So we had a great time with that, and so I went over to the Comedy Store and I met everybody, Gary Shandling and Letterman and Leno and all that, and you know, I still hang out with Jerry Bednob, the guy from the 40-Year-Old Virgin. He's a good friend of mine. And of course, Barry Marder, the head writer for Jerry Seinfeld. Barry's very prolific. We have a movie out called Letters from a Nut, produced by Jerry Seinfeld. Barry's the star of the show. He's the author of Letters from a Nut books, and we turned it into a play. He turned it into a play, and now it's a movie. And we did it at the Geffen Theater, and we shot it as a stage play. But it was just an honor to be in that. And then Jerry brought me over to do Comedians in Cars as his product placement guy. Then he sold everything to Netflix. He didn't need a product placement guy, but just to be able to, you know, get recommended by Barry and allow me, you know, to work with Jerry again, because I did stand up with Jerry many years before. And, you know, you never know who's going to break through. It's just a luck, a little bit of luck.
I want to show folks some more of the incredible, because we have so much material to share. It's really amazing. Your career is just so unreal in terms of your versatility. I mean, what we just saw with that show reel, it just scratches the surface of your versatility and your incredible work. This is a great shot, of course, too. Was that an awards ceremony?
Yeah, that's the Annie Awards. We went to the Animation Awards. We were nominated. Tom and Jerry show. I'm on the Tom and Jerry show as Little Quacker, you know?
That's right.
I get the Baba. Oh, boy.
And yeah, there you go, Tom and Jerry. And we were nominated for Best Children's TV Series last year. And the awards were this January, you know, and or into January, yeah. And then, and so we went, and that's the red carpet. And this is all my toys and things that I did as the voice of Donald Duck. So there's Disney on Parade, there's the Talk to Me Player and Book, there's the Totally Mini album, and there's the talking Mickey Mouse dolls and other stuff that's there.
So if anybody still has those, your voice is the
yeah.
That is so absolutely amazing. Really, really amazing. Cool stuff. I mean, again, it's all versatility. And Jennifer says, thank you so much for spending time with us. A magical night it is. Some more cool photos here too. I want to take people back a little bit in time. I mean, your career is just so amazing. There's Quacker.
Yeah, there he is.
Oh, not good.
He says things like,
oh, I give the Baba. Oh, I know. Oh, no.
He's very innocent. We have to keep him innocent, and he's higher than Donald Duck. So he's like, let's see. I can't say. It's so hard to say the word ugly. He did an episode where he says an ugly duckling. You know, he thinks he's ugly. This is the hardest thing. I always.
He always. Look where that ended up. Isn't that cool that he did that voice? Let's bring this back up here. I think he disappeared. I think. Here he comes. Here he comes.
Finds a lucky penny.
You're still talking? You disappeared.
Yeah, I know. It just
you faded out. You just. So I'd say go back maybe 3 sentences.
Okay. Well,
you quacked off.
Yeah. Well, I just did one. I was submitting some episodes, you know, where he finds a lucky penny. We have one where Little Quacker sings opera, and it took 3 voices. It was me, you know.
Oh, boy,
And then he sees this person singing opera, and then he takes voice lessons, and he comes out with this gorgeous, you know, operatic voice, not mine. And then when he talks, he sounds like what's his name? This beautiful voice that he has. oh God, what's his name? He did Lost Horizons and all these.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. He's terrific.
Yeah.
Yes, and it was done by Steve Stanton, who's an amazing voice actor. He's on Star Wars, the cartoons, amazing versatility as an actor. So I'll think of it when we leave, of course.
But at 3:30 in the morning, it'll wake you up. You can text me then.
Yeah.
So can Quacker say, "I love the Jim Masters show"?
Sure.
Oh, I love the Jim Masters show.
So perfect. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, I can also sing Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious in duck.
Can you?
Yes. Would you like to hear that?
Yes. Let's hear that in I like to say in duck.
In duck. Yes.
Here we go.
Okay.
Not so easy to say even non-duck, but to say it in duck. I tell you.
Well, it's interesting how I got Little Quacker because I lost Donald Duck to somebody else. They took all three of us out, Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, brought in three new guys because of, Eisner did that. And back in the 80s, like 87, 88. And then 25 years later or so, this guy calls me out of the blue and says, "You still do a good duck?" And I go, "Yeah, who are you?" And he says, "Well, you did Donald Duck at Disney. I remember it." So he remembered me 25 years later, and I wound up on Tom and Jerry. And I got a little insight here.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know Warner Brothers, from what I heard from the casting, they went and auditioned 3,000 voice actors for that little duck. So if you get a job in acting, you've hit the lottery.
You really, really have. And everybody says, wow. Marilyn in Wichita, Kansas says, wow, that's amazing. Lorraine says, wow, that is awesome. Kathy Short says, that is fantastic. Christine says, very cute. Claps when you did the supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Claps and applause from everybody here. A couple of people have asked, as far as singing, what kind of music do you prefer to sing, and what do you enjoy?
Well, I come from musical comedy, so things like Singing in the Rain, Old Dolly, I could do stuff like that. The Producers, I would play Bialystok. And as a matter of fact, I did Bialystok here in LA at the Beverly Hills Playhouse where I was studying acting. And we did scenes, and I choreographed it, and I did Bialystok on it. But the difference was between myself and the other actors was that I made him dance. And, I created producers, they're frustrated actors. You can't do, you produce. That was the old stereotype, of course, not really true anymore. But so that's what I did. I made him sing and dance and act. And the dancing was a surprise. People didn't expect Bialystok to be able to do a double pirouette.
Not at all. I mean, those dance moves on Solid Gold were amazing. What the heck?
Yeah, and I was overweight and out of shape by then.
But I mean, it was just like, and how'd that happen? What was that about? How did you end up in doing that segment?
I was the warm-up guy for Solid Gold. And the dancers were beautiful people. And I'm a character dancer. I'm a character. So one day they challenged me to get up to dance because they knew I'd done all those musicals as a dancer, the decade before them. So I'm a lot older than they were. So I got up and did this dance number, and they just went, "Okay, we give up. Okay, we're done. Okay, you're good." And the choreographer was very, very happy, tried to get me on the show, but the idea of these dancers was about, being beautiful and sexy and all that, and I would have been the comedy relief. And they didn't, it wasn't good. They didn't feel it was a good fit for that show, but they were very kind to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're all talking about how incredible and.
Well, I used to get up and dance with them, but I wasn't on the show as a dancer. I was the warm-up guy.
You were the warm-up guy.
Yeah, you got to be straight about this. But we danced together because we all came from, the same teachers and things like that.
Exactly,
And
exactly.
they were beautiful people.
There's that
Oh,
shot
yeah.
with you and Lucille Ball.
Yeah, she would tell me stories.
That's in MAME.
Yeah, MAME. That's from the movie MAME. And Lucy, I once said to her, gee, I like the Three Stooges. She goes, oh, bad props. They almost killed me. And she talked about how she had this powder and had to powder her face in front of a fan. And of course, one of the Stooges turns on the fan and the stuff blows in her face. And she goes, like that. And all the stuff goes in her mouth and her eyes and her nose and her ears. And she was in the hospital for 3 days. She thought she was going to die. And then she said for weeks she would blink and it was sandpaper. And I go, oh my God, that's terrible. So, but the best story, and I got to tell you, if she hadn't told me to my face, would you have believed this? I don't think so. Let me tell you. She said to me that during World War II, she had a filling put in her tooth. And in those days, they couldn't use the regular filling stuff. So she was getting radio waves in her tooth. So she was listening to the radio in her tooth. So she's driving to MGM Studios, and it's the 1940s. It's the middle of World War II. And she gets this German stuff, in her tooth. And who was speaking German and, across the way from MGM Studios. So she calls the police, the FBI, and they drive around. They get close. It gets louder and louder. And they find a nest of Nazi spies spying on MGM Studios in an apartment building, overlooking MGM. And that was her story.
Holy
She found these Nazis with the radio waves in her tooth.
That's unbelievable. That's the first time I ever heard that.
Yeah, and I mean, if she was very serious about it, I mean, she was proud of it, and she was very serious. And I said, if she didn't tell me to my face, it would be difficult to believe.
You know who's really amazed by that story? Another TV legend, Gilligan.
The bobblehead.
Gilligan, yes, sent with love from Bob Denver's wife, actually, Dreama. Aloha.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was a guest on the show. Aloha, Jim.
Wow.
She was a guest on the show, and we did a fantastic conversation like with you. And she said, you've got George Burns, you've got Jeannie, Silver, Jimmy, all these cast of characters. You're missing something, Jim. And I said, what are we missing? She says, you got to have a Gilligan. So she sent the Gilligan doll. Pretty lifelike, huh? There he is.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty cool.
They've got Dr. Fauci bobbleheads now. We won't go there.
I had heard that, actually.
Yeah.
Did you ever meet Mel Blanc? Some people have asked that. Yeah.
Yes. I went to the Mel Blanc School of Voices.
You did?
Yeah, seriously.
That helped the craft, yeah.
Yes, back in the day, and I wanted to learn my craft. I was always taking lessons. And that's the one thing I think people don't realize. But these actors, you just see the finished product, but they're in class. They're constantly working on their craft. If they're not in a play, they're in a class, an acting class, and because you have to keep up your chops. It's like a carpenter. You have to constantly do it. So what were we talking about? Oh, Mel Blanc. Mel. So
you went blank on blank.
Yeah. I went blank on blank. So Mel Blanc, his son introduced us, Noel, and Donald Duck meet Daffy Duck, and he did Daffy and I did Donald, and he goes, it's great that you can do somebody else's voice, but I made my entire career on original voices. Well, he was right and he was wrong, and I took his advice. I created original voices, but when he passed away, it took 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people to replace him.
Yes.
So it's good that you can do those voices, but you should concentrate on original. But there you go. You've got people doing his voice, and I'm doing a little duck that was done by Red Coffee, who was original Duck, and then Ducky Nash, who was terrific, and that kind of thing.
Is that the favorite character of all the different ones you've done? Is that the one that you're closest to? Well,
the duck is, everybody wants to hear that. It's like the one everybody wants to hear, but I think it's just one of many things I do. And, I enjoy doing the acting, and I'd like to do more acting, but I constantly wind up doing a duck, Little Quacker.
Yeah.
But, go ahead.
It's become part of who you are. That's what it is. Everybody identifies with it so much. Here's another cool shot too, from Maine.
Oh yeah, that's me. I'm in the middle. And
What's
we're
happening here?
We're jumping hedges, and it's the main number Maine. You know, dun 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 da 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 dun da da, and we're jumping over hedges, and they were a man short. So I volunteered because I was the youngest. These guys, I'm jumping with. Of course, this is rehearsal, so you have to, you know, forgive the guy who's kind of missed the hedge.
Yeah.
So we're jumping hedges, and they were a man short, so I volunteered because I had more energy, I guess. I don't know. They needed somebody. So I jumped in front, I jumped in back, and then I jumped in front of her again. But all you see in the movie is just legs going over like this. You don't see this shot. So this is all the guys waiting to jump. And these are the big lights and everything. This is on location up at the Warner Ranch in Santa Clarita.
Maine, incredible.
Yeah. Oh, and that's June Foray, the voice of Rocky Squirrel.
Oh, that's right. Rocky. Yes. Rocky and Bullwinkle, right?
Yes. And the Wicked Witch.
And
I have a Bullwinkle cell up there she made me buy. I don't know if you can see it behind me. I don't know if you can see it right over there. That little green thing. Here, I'll get right over there. Up there. Up there. Right there. That's Bullwinkle right there. There he is. See him?
No, I just like seeing you trying to find him. That was fun.
Yeah, this is better. Hey, right over there.
Little like Mitch Miller with the bouncing ball with the words.
Yeah, sign language comes in handy.
Have you ever done magic too? Magic tricks, magic? Did you like magic as well?
I wish I'd learned some magic. I just never did. I just never did. And by the time I got to the dummy and stand up and comedy writing and acting and singing and dance, I was exhausted.
You had enough going on. You certainly did.
Yeah.
You had your hands full, literally.
Yes, literally. Oh yeah. That's Irving, the dummy from the Bob Newhart show. And so I used him in the at the Comedy Store, and then I brought him over to Bob Newhart, and it's just a little 6-minute bit I did with him. I mean, most of my act was, you know, about going to school. I went to a high school, it's 90% Jewish, you know, those kind of things. You know, when you start out with little jokes because you're just trying to perfect your craft.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I had when I was a kid, I had the Charlie McCarthy doll. And it came out of the back of the Sears Wish Book. Remember the Sears Wish Book years ago? You pick all the toys for Christmas and Hanukkah, the holidays through the Sears Wish Book. And we were riding back from our family, my mother's side of the family, from Connecticut and Massachusetts back to New York. My sister and I were playing with the Charlie McCarthy doll, which was the Christmas gift. And he had that plaid jacket and the whole thing. It was the real authentic doll. So we're playing with it in the back of the car. My parents are driving, or my father's driving, my mother's a passenger, and we're in the back playing. And my sister pulls a little too hard on the string that operates the mouth, which runs up the back. All over. Once the mouth on the ventriloquist doll breaks, the doll is rendered useless. Just composed for pictures, and that's about it.
That's why you always wanted a doll with the hole in the back and the stick, and then something to play with.
Not the string that you pull, which is
right. You pull the string down, so you can use and they get real elaborate with eyebrows and moving the eyes and all that.
Yeah. Remember the episode? There's a couple of episodes that had a dummy on it on Twilight Zone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll hurt you.
You don't see ventriloquism anymore like you used to. Remember Madam too? Yeah, she was very funny. I forgot the guy who did Madam, but and then he went on Solid Gold too, I think, a couple of times.
Oh yeah, he was a guest comedian.
But you don't see ventriloquists really anymore like you did.
Well,
I used to love it.
Well, Jay Johnson was on Soap.
Yeah.
We were both up for Soap, but I think he fit the character and the family better. You know, he kind of resembled the father and all that. And he's brilliant ventriloquist. He does a Broadway show. He won a Tony for it on Broadway called The Two of Us, or something like that. It's brilliant. It's really a great show.
Yeah,
it's an absolutely hilarious show. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I would. And
you should go see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you there?
2021, maybe, right? You go see him in 2021.
Did I lose you?
No, I'm here. Are you there? See
Jay
us?
Johnson was a great. Is a great.
He disappeared. Okay, so he's having a lot of trouble with his Wi-Fi. We're trying to figure it out. We had a devil of a time trying to get him on. He's coming back like magic.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Hey, sorry, I threw my entire body instead of just my voice.
That is funny. That is funny.
Yeah.
A couple more. We got some really wonderful. I mean, it's just, your versatility, I mean, is really, really what I was always trained that way too, in television, radio, and everything too. Learn and appreciate what everybody else does and know something about it. And because you never know when you're going to be thrown out there to say the other guy didn't show up, the other person's ill, walked out, and you have to run out there and say something and do something and, plug things together or whatever it is. And I'm sure you've had those occasions too, where you're thrown out there and just, hey, Sam, make magic, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And the other guy didn't show up. You got to go another 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, especially in stand-up.
Yes.
But the guy goes up on his line. So you better know his line,
Right.
Yeah. Or, when you work in a theater, you should know about lights, sound, props, backstage stuff, all that.
What the promo people, marketing people, branding people are doing.
Yeah.
All of it, because it's a team effort. Here's another shot, Sam, that we have here as we take a walk down memory lane.
Oh,
huh?
Well, that's my first job in Disney on Parade. We did It's a Small World. After all, 14 shows a week. Do not let me sing It's a Small World. I will have to have that surgically removed from my brain. It's a small world after all. It says, and we walked around and did this, and the tambourines lit up, and I would do Donald Duck live in the show. And now you see it now as Disney on Ice. And this is the show I did with Patrick Swayze and the Snow White unit.
And what was that? What year was that? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was started. The rehearsals started in 1970 in December in Chicago, and it went 71, 72, all the way up to 1976.
Wow.
So, but I left it at the end of 72 and went over to do the movie MAME with Lucille Ball.
I mean,
then all the guys
segue.
There, want to hear a big loss, a big crazy thing? The guys, you remember Blazing Saddles? Of course, right?
Absolutely.
A lot of the guys from MAME went over to do Blazing Saddles. And my friend says to me, hey, you want to do this movie? It's called Black Bart, And I said, well, what do you got to do? He says, you got to be a gay guy in a tuxedo getting beat up by cowboys. I said, I'd rather be an actor. I'm not going to do the chorus anymore. So it turns out to be Blazing Saddles. So all those guys dancing at the end of the movie, a lot of them are for the movie MAME.
Wow.
How about that? A little secret there.
That is a secret you heard right here on the Jim Master Show Live. That is amazing. Had no clue, had no idea of that. Here's another cool one. Wow.
Oh, yeah. That's Letters from a Nut, produced by Jerry Seinfeld and written by the great Barry Martyr. This is my makeup lady on the left. And on the right is the other star of the show, and she's going to kill me because I forgot her name. I can't. Oh, don't hurt me. She is brilliantly funny. And there's just 3 of us in the play. You'd think I'd have a better memory,
She looks like she's tongue-tied, litterally.
Oh, yeah. She is so funny. She is so cute.
And tell us about you there. I mean, what's the... Yeah.
Well, Letters from a Nut are these letters that Barry wrote to corporations. And they're crazy letters. Mm-hmm. And the corporations don't know whether to just, get rid of this guy because he's a nut, or if the company is testing them.
Right.
So he writes a letter to Nordstrom's. And he says, I'm walking by and I see this male mannequin in the window, and it looks just like my deceased neighbor's husband. we'd like to get this mannequin for her, you know, give her some comfort, will you? He writes this. Well, he gets a letter back.
Mm-hmm.
And the letter, it says, well, gee, you know, I'll transfer this letter over to the manager of the Nordstrom's, store, and you can talk to her. Signed, Bruce A. Nordstrom. It came from the head of the company.
The actual company. Wow.
So then the manager of the Nordstrom he writes a letter and says, well, you know, we don't have any male mannequins. And he writes her back and says, well, you know, I was in the sporting section, and, you know, I prefer that mannequin. He has a nice sports jacket, and he looks a lot more like her husband. And they write back and say, well, we'll look for it, you know, back and forth. It's insane. And he did one where he writes to a hotel, and he says, you know, I'm allergic to your ice machine. I have to bring my own ice machine. Like, oh, yeah, we'll accommodate you. Don't worry, you know, please. He goes, great. Writes him back a letter and says, my ice machine weighs 2,000 pounds. I'll need a forklift to get it in the room. And he said, okay, they're just stymied. But these are very funny letters, the way they're written. You got to give Barry credit. And Jerry for producing it, you know. Yeah,
that's really, really creative and ingenious, of course, putting them together and then bringing you in on it as well. Here's another.
That's totally Minnie. I'm the voice of Donald Duck on that. And Peter Renaday is the voice of Mickey Mouse. And Tony Pope is the voice of Goofy. And Peter did Mickey Mouse for over a decade. And Tony did Goofy for 15 years or so, and I was doing Donald Duck for almost 17 years, on and off. And so it was really a privilege to do this. It was produced by Jimmy Megan, who also did the DuckTales and the Gummy Bears cartoon series. He's a great writer, comedy writer.
There's another going back.
Oh, that's Anna White.
Wow.
I loved her. She was so kind to me. She's the one who gave me the break in Disney on Parade, and that's on the set of MAME. So we were acting, you know, very, erudite, because we're in a southern plantation, you know, and we're all talking like this. And she was just a lot of fun. She choreographed the movie. She did the musical Music Man on Broadway and did the movie. She did Bye Bye Birdie. She did Oliver, the movie where she won the Academy Award. For Oliver, and they don't give out Academy Awards for choreography.
They don't.
No, there's only two. That was West Side Story, Jerry Robbins, and Anna. And she's just amazing. And to dance for her, you got to be pretty good. You know?
Here's another incredible comedian an actress who we definitely lost way too soon, and you had the good fortune of knowing her, Madeline Kahn.
Madeline. We did At Long Last Love together. I played a crippled caveman, and she sang the song "Find Me a Primitive Man." At Long Last Love stars Burt Reynolds tap dancing from the waist up, and she was terrific. But she used to sit with her legs open. She wore pants, and I would shuffle over in my caveman outfit, and I go, you know, Madeline, you're a star now. You should cross your legs. So she goes, you're right. She'd look down and goes, you're right. And she would cross her legs. So every time I found her sitting forward, you know, with her legs open, I just have to look at her and she'd go, oh God, you're right. Oh God, I'm a star now. I got to cross my legs. What a sweet woman.
She was really. There's a funny clip on YouTube where I'm sure you've seen it. I don't know if it's the Johnny Carson family or foundation that uploaded it, or somebody just taped it and uploaded it. But it was Madeline Kahn as a guest on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. And I think they were talking about, it's a hilarious clip, of course, you know, the usual double entendre of the day, like Match Game, the game show, was nothing but double entendre, and it just really, it's so funny. Carson, they were talking about sports, and then asked the question of Madeline, you know, does she like sports, or I don't know if it was basketball or does she like baseball or something like that. And she said no. In her deadpan face, she said, I don't like balls coming towards me. Yeah,
Shoot,
that was Madeline.
I would have worked with her in Blazing Saddles if I hadn't turned it down. But here I was in At Long Last Love, and she was so grateful to be working. And yet she'd done all these big movies already, Young Frankenstein and all that. And she would just say, I'm just lucky, and I found that with most of the big stars, that they talk about how lucky or how they're grateful they are. And they don't have those airs about them like, they're better than you and all that. They're about the work. Do the work. That's the big thing.
I think today it's more like the showing off and braggadocious a little bit. I've got this, I got that. Then back then a little bit, right? It was the work itself. Even you, I'm sure you even pinch yourself when you look back and you see all these incredible things that you've done and have had the opportunity to be involved in too. You're very humble and pleased by it all and appreciate it all, right?
Oh, very grateful because you appreciate what you get, and you should be grateful to the people who thought you were good enough to do it, and it's all about the work. I mean, I know people who they've gotten to be big stars without doing much, they just have a look or whatever, and they never really did anything, but they just got the right break or something, but they don't last.
That happens a lot on social media now, Instagram and all these. Somebody just posts a photo and all of a sudden they've got a book deal or whatever, where the other person's been doing it for 40 years and is still trying to climb up their ladder. I know. It's a whole other world.
I'm good friends with Ed Asner. He's won 7 Emmys. And every time he would win an Emmy, he would go, God, I hope it doesn't price me out of the business. And he would always say how fortunate he was. At 90, he's still saying, I'm just grateful to still be working. But he did the work. He put the work in, and he still works. I mean, he still goes and works on his craft.
That's like Dick Van Dyke. Did you ever work with or meet Dick Van Dyke?
I see him at the Professional Dancers Society luncheons, and he'd get up and dance. In 94, 93, 92, and I was good friends with his brother, Jerry Van Dyke.
Jerry Van Dyke, right. Yeah.
Extremely funny and extremely talented. And, if there wasn't a Dick Van Dyke, I mean, Jerry, he did so many shows, so many sitcoms. And, I think he gets overlooked a little because I thought he was just brilliant.
Sort of in the shadow of Dick a little bit. Yeah.
A little bit.
Dick was always on television, right, with the series and all. I've got another cool shot here that I want to show everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about this.
This is the Comedy Store. My name's on the wall at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
Only I'm at the bar. See, so every time they take this off at night, my name goes away. Nobody knows I'm there.
There it is there.
Yeah, the Comedy Store. Yeah, that's where I started in stand-up.
That's amazing. I mean, that's a legendary place.
I became friends with Gary Shandling, and Gary was very humble. And it's all about the writing. He used to say to me, Sam, if somebody steals your joke, go write another one. That was it. Just go write another one.
Exactly right.
Yeah, because if your life depends on one, that's Disney on Parade again.
That's
I'm 19 years old there. Yeah. And these are the guys in the show. And this is Small World. It's a small world after all, the finale to the show. And everybody dresses up in different costumes from around the world to say it's a small world after all. That was the theme. And we would dance around and we'd all be, as one, the world should be friends and should be all together. And, there should be harmony and peace. And that was the message for that finale.
And how important that is in our world right now, huh? That message?
Yeah. Yes, that is really, unity, understand the other person, try to understand. And it was about peace and love and all that.
Absolutely. Here's another cool
early
shot.
70s.
There you are from Bob Newhart again.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was a real easy week. It was 4 days. A rehearsal to shoot because Bob had a very, it was 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. That was it.
Great hours. Yeah.
Well, he knew his character.
Yeah.
like I said, Peter Bonners was just, to me, a giant talent, and Bob was just so natural and easy to talk to.
Yeah, Bob Newhart. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you would say that a good deal of the character that you saw on the Bob Newhart show was really authentically Bob, playing Bob.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, off stage he was pretty much the same way. He was just very easygoing and very, very, low key and wonderful to talk to.
Yeah. Here's another shot here.
And Buddy, we called him Buddy Swayze. He used to be he was Patrick, but his friends called him Buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Did a great Donald Duck, I'm telling you. And that's Roger Seward, one of my best friends, and we're still in touch today. And this was the backstage in the show Chicago that he did for 6 weeks at the Pantages Theater. So we went backstage and had a little reunion, and we both did Donald Duck. He did a damn good Donald Duck, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I tell you.
Yeah.
Look at this one.
This is the finale. This is one of the major numbers. This is the Tarantella. This is the Pinocchio sequence in Disney on Parade. So I'm 19 years old here. 19. This is the PR shot. Yeah. There's like 20 male dancers, 20 female dancers, plus circus acts. It's like I'd run away and join the circus. And then one of the dancers would come out in the Pinocchio outfit and sing, "I Got No Strings to Hold." And then we do the Tarantella. And they're all dressed in their Tarantella outfits. And I'm in the back by the trampoline, so you can hardly see me.
That's amazing.
It was my first job. Well, that's Jerry Seinfeld. Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. And I'm the product placement guy. And I roll the window up on him. So,
how did that happen? How did you end up getting that?
Well, I got to tell you, we all kind of know each other. It's been a while since I saw Jerry. But I was working with Barry Martyr, Letters from a Nut. Yeah. And Jerry, Jerry's head writer. So Jerry calls him up and goes, God, I need a guy to do the product placement thing, and I don't have time to audition all these actors. And he goes, Well, what about Sam? And he goes, oh, Sam, get him. He can do everything. Just get him. Mm-hmm. So we did this shot in one take, 4 cameras, 1 take. And Kathleen Madigan, he was interviewing her in the car, and she just loved it. She thought it was great.
That is funny.
And then Jerry called up Barry and said, get him back. We got to do another one. It was great. It's perfect. 1 shot. Man, you can't do better than that. So,
And what was that experience like for you? Really cool, huh?
Yeah, I'm very grateful. I owe it to Barry Martyr, to recommend me.
To actually recommend you for that. Absolutely. Yeah. And when you look, when you think about all this great work that you've done, I mean, we're talking about the Tom and Jerry, and there's the Letters from a Nut you were talking about.
Oh yeah, that's on Amazon Prime, by the way.
Oh, it is.
Letters from a Nut on
Amazon Prime. Is now becoming Amazon Prime. They are becoming the heavy hitter now.
Yeah.
And then how about, were you in Adult Swim?
Adult Swim, yeah. We did Robot Chicken. We did Mickey and Donald at a bar picking up chicks. And it was absolutely hilarious. It's 30 seconds long. It's one of the funniest things I ever did.
Can you do the voice?
Yeah. Well, I forget the dialogue. Yeah. He's Minnie Mouse is checking out Mickey Mouse at the bar, and he doesn't want to date a girl who looks like him in a dress. And that was the premise. And I would say things like, she likes you, she wants you. And then I look over and there's Daisy Duck, and I go, oh no, oh my goodness, oh. You want to go out with me or something? And she looks like me in a dress. So absolutely hilarious. And we did some other things. I was the narrator on a Mad Max scene that they did on Robot Chicken, and I did other voices for them, and it was very funny. Seth Green's brilliant. I mean, it's wonderful to work with these people. Like I said, they put the work in. They, you just see the end result, but to make it look easy,
yeah, We talk about that on this show, how we all in our respective areas try to make everything look easy for the viewer, the listener, the audience, but all of the preparation, all the work, and all the things that can go wrong, and all the things that are just a wing and a prayer are extraordinary, right?
Yeah, like I say, when I want to, when they hire me to do Little Quacker for Tom and Jerry, I always request the script ahead of time, so I can work on the words, and then maybe substitute a word here and there, because the duck is difficult to understand.
Yeah.
So try and say anything without a diphthong. Lucky, or ugly. Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
So if you have a word like supercalifragilistic, you have all those little things you can hook onto.
Do you have to? What's the preparation like when you're going to have to do a lot of copy? What kind of preparation do you have to do? You not speak the day before to save the voice like a singer?
No.
What are some of the things you do to prepare?
You look for the innocence. You look for the attitude and the point of view, and the material should tell you that. And you take a pencil, and you go, well, I'm going to say,
oh, you're the Baba.
Or you're going to go,
I don't.
Something like that. You want to get the emotion behind the words. That's the key. The key is to make sure you can, get across the attitude on the point of view of the little character, even though it's a little cartoon duck. I mean, you just have to know to be able to, interpret what they want.
And is there anything you have to do vocally, so the voice is physically, the vocal cords, everything is prepared for, maybe hours of doing copy?
Well, the duck is not used. You don't use your vocal cords. It's just your cheek and your gum here. It's just all in here. It's an artificial voice. So you really don't use any of that.
Using any of that. Yeah.
But in the morning, you need to warm up a little, because you can't get up in the morning. You got to
some
get some
people
hot
might,
coffee.
then if you do, you got to go to the doctor. I mean,
Yeah. In the morning, you don't know which end it's coming out of. It's the duck. So you get a little coffee, you get something to warm up your cheeks and your gums, and brush your teeth or whatever, gargle, and then you have that nice little
Oh yeah.
And Donald Duck is low. He's a rich, full thing.
Yeah, like a big idea. Oh yeah.
Any little thing will take him off. But Little Quacker is a higher duck, and Red Coffee did him as that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I kind of gave him a little cross between the two, but we keep him nice and innocent. So everything is an innocent attitude.
Exactly.
It's not. Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. So have there ever been opportunities for like your own sitcom for you to be the star of certain things along the way because of your comedic genius and timing and everything?
Well, I did a pilot called Hollywood High opposite Annie Potts and Kim Langford, and unfortunately it didn't go. But the director was a brilliant man, and I had done the Bob Newhart show, and we thought we would pitch the pilot, The Dummy, based on the Bob Newhart show as a ventriloquist. And the dummy we want to play this attitude, the dummy real or not real, but the dummy comes to life when he talks to me, but to everybody else, he's a dummy, So we got up to pilot approval, and then everybody quit at NBC, and then we tried to sell it to HBO, and they gave us some money to, develop it. And then it just didn't go anywhere. So we tried for several years to get that off the ground. It just didn't go. So, yeah. So I did pilots that didn't go anywhere, the usual. I did movies that never got made,
Really?
So,
but that's all part of it, right? I mean, you have to have thick skin, right? I mean, because sometimes there'll be fantastic things that happen, and sometimes things just go by. Was there anything other than the Blazing Saddles, I would imagine, that you wish that you were in?
Yes. I was in the movie Airplane, and I got cut out. And I love these guys, the Zucker brothers. They're brilliantly funny guys. But I did a running gag where I played a dispatcher, And, every time something would happen to me, I couldn't get the SOS message to the right people because the plane was going to crash. And so I would type it up and the paper would stretch and stretch and stretch. And then the typewriter hit me in the face. And then they did one where I finally got the paper out and they'd already crashed and the ceiling came down on me. And this is something nobody knows about because it was cut out of the movie. So there you go. Something about the movie Airplane.
Is that amazing?
And they just said it just, we just couldn't get it to fit with the rest of the show or something, but they were wonderful to me. Wonderful. They're brilliantly funny people. And it was a pleasure to just ask them to ask me to come in and do this, scenes. So yeah, it's a disappointment.
Sure.
You move on.
You move on. That's what it's all about. That's life. Absolutely. Yeah. And you learn from it and you take what you can from it and go forward. Do you still do any stand-up at all?
Yeah. I was supposed to be in Vegas at the Laugh Factory with Jerry Bednob from the 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's done like 35 movies. He was in Zack and Miri Make a Porno. And
right.
We work together. And we always have a great time. And we go to Vegas and play the Laugh Factory at the Tropicana. And just as we were going to go, COVID hit. So they shut everything down. It was March 30th to April 6th. We're going to be there. 2 shows a night.
2 shows a night. Do you go to other cities too? Do you come east at all, or?
I used to. I stopped because you have to be in town to work. I mean, once you get a cartoon series or a TV show or commercials, you got to be here. So it's difficult to get out. I mean, to go to Vegas for a week, okay. Yeah, I play it twice a year. Or I'll play around town here in LA. And once I'll go up north to San Francisco on a weekend. And but basically you got to stay in town. You have to be here. If somebody calls you and says, we need you tomorrow. Or, we've got you planned for Friday and it's Wednesday. We'll get you a script, start working.
Right.
And, soap operas. I did a soap opera where we did Divorce Court. And they gave me like a day
to get ready,
to memorize like 20 pages.
Mm.
And these other guys did it. And I did the best I could do.
Right.
I mean, this is why you have to keep up your craft.
You really, really do. Somebody, Merlin in Canada asked, does your throat get sore, from using it so much? Do you have to really watch that?
Yeah. You drink hot tea and you do relaxing things. I think singing is a big help. A lot of the voice actors are great singers.
Yeah.
Candy Milo is a terrific singer. E.G. Daly, Debbie Derryberry, the genius. She plays that little kid. He's a genius. Boy genius.
Yeah.
I can't remember all the cartoons. I'm sorry.
Yeah. There's so many.
Yes, but they're great. They're great. Jimmy Neutron. Boy genius.
Yeah.
And she's a singer.
What are
voices?
Yeah, a lot. Absolutely. What are some of the things you're working on now? And are you, through all of this, have you been working out of the house?
Yeah, everything's out of the house. I have to do self-tapes and I have to do voice auditions, through my own sound studio here in my house. So because of the situation. But I went in yesterday, or the day before, to do a Looney Tunes cartoon and to do another Tom and Jerry. And you go in and you're all by yourself and you've got hand sanitizer and gloves and a mask. And they wipe the studio down and everybody's on a monitor. So everybody listens to you over the phone or whatever it is that they connected to. And they have a sound engineer in another booth. And that's what you do. And so that's the new rule. And they only allow one person in at a time. It used to be 2 or 3 of us get together in the green room, wait around, say everything, talk about everything, what's going on. And then you'd go in and do your thing and tell jokes and joke around. Nope. Now it's just you and the producer and the writer and the director and the sound engineer. And, it's like we're talking now.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, you're on a monitor. They're all on monitors.
Yeah. Totally changed. Do you like that, or did it take time to get used to that new way of doing it?
Well, you lose the the connection. You know, it's like stand-up comedy depends on your audience. 50% of your comedy comes from your audience being in front of you, so you can play off the audience and know your timing. And this is different. You're on a script. And when you read the script, you read the sentences, there are 3 different ways you do it. You do it 3 different ways, and they pick out the best one, the one that they like the most, or the one they think that'll work. And so that's still the same. And you can still tell jokes through the monitor. But they keep it light and easy so that there's no pressure. You know, you want to do a good job. Everybody's positive, and it's always a lot of fun.
Have you taken on dramatic roles and dramatic work over the years as well? And if so, do you enjoy that?
Oh, yeah. Well, I wanted to do drama, and I complained to Ed Asner. I used to choreograph Ed Asner in these shows like Guys and Dolls. He called me Twinkle Toes, and I would call him Mr. Asner, sir. And he was the greatest, just the greatest guy. And I complained to him one day. I said, you know, I did the Bob Newhart show, and I'm doing all these sitcoms, and I'm, you know, I never get to do drama. And Ed says, well, you want to be a jerk? I'll put you on Lou Grant. And so I wound up on Lou Grant as an evil pharmacist who gives you half the pills and charges you twice the price. So,
and he didn't tell you had spunk, did he?
No.
Like we told Mary Tyler Moore?
No.
I hate spunk. Remember?
Yes, I hate spunk.
And do you get to still see him? You know?
Yes.
You know, yeah.
We had a thing up until COVID. Well, he just had his birthday party.
Right. He did a one-man show too, where he was going from place to place. I think last year or
yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
He was doing FDR.
Right.
He didn't look anything like FDR, but he did FDR. He's just a great actor. But again, he's keeping up his craft. You know, he's in front of the stage. He's got in front of an audience, and he's doing his craft. He's acting.
Right.
He's 80. He was 89, 88. Now he's 90. He just had his birthday. I was at his birthday party, you know, with Mark Hamill and all these big comedians and actors. And it was great. And he has a foundation called the Ed Asner Family Center. He has a grandchild that has autism.
Right.
And so we had just had the big charity poker tournament, and you ante up and you pay to get into the poker tournament. He's got every celebrity you can imagine. I get to play with Don Cheadle, and I'm dropping names here, you know, and Brad Garrett, and Mia Farrow was there, and Ben Affleck was there. And, you know, unfortunately this time it was all through the monitors. It was all, you know, virtual. And, but we played, and I won a couple hands, and then I lost.
But you had a good time. You had a good time.
I had a great time. These guys are funny.
How have you been keeping your spirits up during all of the craziness of what we've been going through the last several months? Those creative juices flowing and just the positivity. I mean, this show, we try to do that every night for the viewers. And one of the reasons why I created it, but out of my television and radio professional work. But
yes, you're quite a professional.
Yeah.
I mean, you really have some creds, you know, credits. Fantastic. I'm thrilled to be on the show.
I appreciate that.
Just want to get that in.
Just want to get that in. My father has always said, when somebody says something nice, say to them, please put that in writing and address it management.
But you're management, so.
We are the management. That's right. So what are some of the things, what are you doing to keep the spirits high and keep those creative juices flowing while we've all been sort of, you know, caved into our homes and things of that nature?
Well, I stay in touch with my comedy friends, but, you know, Tom and Jerry asked me, the Tom and Jerry show asked me to write episodes, you know, to create some stories. Originally for Little Quacker and Jerry. It's coming out a big movie, Tom and Jerry in New York, from Warner Brothers. I'm not in it, but oh well, it's nice to have. And so I was writing these episodes, and I actually sold a few, and I was very proud of that. I got to do so I've written about 40 or 50 of these things, and I sent in the premises, and you know, they just took Quacker's Lucky Penny. I wrote that, and then, you know, Little Quacker Sings Opera. You know, I helped with that, and I did about 3 or 4 of those. They bought about 3 or 4 of them out of the hundreds that I've written. So, but it keeps you on your toes. Writing is rewriting, and writing is practice. You want to write, and I still write jokes. I still work on my jokes. So.
And there he goes. He'll be back in a second. Lorraine loves the stories. Yes, a man of many talents. Here he comes. He's still talking.
Can you hear me?
Now we can.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what it is. Somebody doesn't like me. I don't know.
Can you do a gremlin voice? An angry gremlin?
A gremlin?
Hey, what's the big idea? We're all in there.
I just did an audition for a Halloween kind of guy, I wish I could play it for you here. It was really fun because you got to do a parrot, and I got to be, well, are you celebrating Halloween? Are you think you're alone? You're not.
That reminds me of the guy I saw last week at the DMV.
Yeah. And he was on the other side of the right?
Other side.
You want a license?
Sit down and shut up.
Yeah, right.
Not today.
That's right. And you want me to fill out that survey about your customer service skills?
Yeah. Hey, it better be good.
Absolutely.
That's another thing when you do these voices.
Somebody asked about Voltron, Defender of the Universe. Can you do that?
Well, if she could do the voice, I have to hear the voice first. I don't remember how it goes.
Actually asks, this is an interesting question, kind of a cool question as well. Sam, do you alone create all the voices for the characters over the years? So do you create them, or does somebody create them for you? I think
we'll get an audition for a cartoon, and they'll tell us the character, and they'll give us a picture. So if the character has a long nose, you may want to make him a little nasal. He might be a nerd, or he could be, a very, very sophisticated man. He could have an English accent. Well, what you say? I say, or he could be a 49er, like.
Well, I've been working on mine. I've been eating. I've been riding the trail eating dust.
And you
want to get that in there, boy. You know what I'm saying?
And so they give you the attitude. They want you to get the attitude and the character and the point of view. And then some of them will confuse you because they don't want it too broad. They want it subtle. They want it in the middle. And you work out different ways to create that character, but they will give you the character. Now, I have a demo where I've created original voices. And then I have a demo where I have a few voices in there that are like, characters that are already established, like like Walt Disney's Captain Hook, the first mate. Captain Mate, what are you talking about? And it's almost like Droopy Dog, boom, you did. And he was the White Rabbit, well, I'm late for a very important date. It's the same guy doing that voice. And for some reason, it's very easy for me to do that one. But it's not an original voice. Does that help?
Does that help?
Did I go on too long?
No, explain it again. We didn't quite get it. No.
Yeah, you didn't get it? Okay.
That's funny. Do you do straight narration and voiceover copy as well for corporate stuff, industrial stuff, that as well, like voiceover announcing type stuff? You do that as well?
Yeah, they usually want baritone bass, somebody who's bigger than life,
kind of like Brad
Garrett. Yeah, big. And so same thing with the superheroes. Brad Garrett plays a big superhero. He's got the bigger than he's 6'9". He always tells the joke he was born July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Right.
very, very tall guy. Very big guy. And but he plays those big because he's got the best. One of the best voice actors is Frank Welker. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Oh yeah.
He's done everything. you know, and
I used to love, he did a lot of the animated stuff. Paul Frees.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
A
all
lot
of
of the
Disneyland.
Rankin Bass productions, the Santa Claus, and all the different voices. He was really
You can hear them all throughout Disneyland.
Paul Frees.
Yes,
That had, sort of had that commanding, sort of authoritative
right.
voice of God sound. That's, you know, when you look at all of this, it's really amazing. You've had a good time, haven't you?
Yeah, yeah. But you know, work's work. You know, you want to get it right. You know, and creating voices come from. Oh, I'll give you a little hint about how to create a voice. If you really want to know how to create a voice, if you're a guy like me, imitate a famous celebrity that's a woman, a female, and try and do it in your voice, like Lucille Ball or Greta Garbo. You know, I want to be alone, but do it, you know, with your voice, because you don't sound like her, and you may come up with an original voice. It's just a little hint I was taught many years ago. So if you take like Roseanne Barr, well, you know, I think, you know, and all of a sudden it becomes an original voice, even though it was based on her. You know, no, I don't know. I don't think I would. You know, I live in a trailer park, and all of a sudden it's a different voice because you're just using her attitude and her vocal and you know attitude. How's that? little voiceover trick.
I just love the facial expressions too were spot on. That's
another thing. You want to act it out. It's acting. It's not just the voice.
Right.
And that's it. That's really the thing, is to be, it's the acting. Anybody can do the voice. Yeah. What's up, Doc? Faye, are you following me? But it's the acting. It's the, you know, you're despicable. And the facial thing and the physical, you physicalize it. Richard Dreyfuss once did a play. Gee, I'm really talking a lot here. Did a play where
we love it.
He's totally paralyzed in a hospital bed. It's a very famous play. I forget the name because I'm old. So he's laying there, and I asked him, "How did you do this? How were you able?" He says, "Well, I physicalized it."
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "Well, I'm paralyzed, but I needed to know what I could feel. I had to feel it." So that's acting.
And that's why they call it voice acting, because they used to just emphasize voice over, but now they really emphasize the acting part. And that's why you've had a lot of actors do it, even in commercials. Remember, Burgess Meredith used to do all the Honda commercials, and you'd always hear the distinctive sound of Burgess Meredith. And I used to always love the announcers on the networks too, the staff announcers, like Ernie Anderson with ABC. You know, the real deep, the Love Boat on ABC. You know, just a real deep sort of sound. You don't hear a lot of those sounds as much anymore. That voice of God sound on television anymore.
It's interesting that you would mention that, because now in cartoons they use real voices.
That's what it is.
Go to Bob's Burgers. You know, that cartoon. They're real voices.
Right.
A lot of cartoons now, they don't want that broad Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck craziness. Like I said, I'm lucky to do this duck. But they want a real, you know, somebody who wants to base the cartoon character in a real reality, some kind of a reality. Then you go from there.
How has that changed things or impacted what you do and others like you as a result of that, where they might just bring, you've been doing it for decades, but they might just bring somebody off the street who's just speaking the lines?
Well, they bring in celebrities. We've been replaced by celebrities now for decades. You know?
A lot of voice people.
Even on a cartoon, you'll see all these famous people who, you know, and the voice of
video games now and all of that. Yeah, the animation. And they'll promote that it's the voice of doing it.
Yeah. They did the Godfather video game many years ago. I hired Marlon Brando. Can you imagine what they paid him? Al Pacino? Can you imagine what they paid? And apparently the game wasn't very good. Even though they had these great, I mean, brilliant, You can't
And,
deny the acting.
Don Rickles did Mr. Potato Head, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he's an accomplished actor, which
Yes.
people don't always know.
No, they just know the comedy, right?
That's
They just-
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys like that. You see on TV and they go, oh, well, he just does that one thing. Then you realize, wow, this guy has been a Broadway star and he's done all these major shows. So to be able to do drama, comedy, this was Ed Asner's key to success. He could do everything. He could do comedy, he could do drama, and it was all in one package. So
It sounds like you really have a great admiration and respect for Ed Asner and a lot of different. Who are some other folks that you've always either enjoyed working with or just always have had great respect for in the industry, whether you've worked with them or not?
well, Swayze, of course. And Michael Keaton, brilliant. He was at the Comedy Store doing stand-up. He could have been a star, and I mean a star stand-up. He's a major star. Batman. Look at his versatility. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine, a big director, called me up one day and said he saw the movie Night Shift, and he thought Michael Keaton had stolen the movie. Because it was for Fonzie, it was a vehicle for him. And I said, oh, well, that's Michael Keaton. He's at the Comedy Store. He does stand-up. He's hilarious. And he goes, well, this guy's going to be huge. And sure enough, he was just a naturally gifted actor.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful actor. So guys like that you look up to, Gary Shandling, great comedy writer. We were friends. Jerry Seinfeld, Barry Martyr. These guys work on their craft. And that's the guys I respect. And as a dancer, I was a big Gene Kelly fan, Fred Astaire, those guys, that's where I came from, musical comedy. And I was in that group. And that was, to me, was wonderful. So, and Ed Asner, to me, who's won 7 Emmys, I had the opportunity to meet Alexander Payne, who won 2 Oscars for writing Nebraska and Sideways. Again, down to earth, regular guy, just he's about the work. So, there are people very talented, but they're very nasty. There are these people who just are so grateful that they're working.
I think the people that I've had an opportunity to meet, interview, or just chat with over the years that are like that, aside from yourself, Carol Burnett. Very, very just Carol. Warm and friendly and affable and approachable and no airs about her and just the real deal. And Florence Henderson, the same way, was always just very approachable and real. And she told me about 6 months before she had passed that she actually would write back to every single person that ever wrote to her, fans and followers of her work, which is extraordinary. I imagine you get that too. You get truckloads of fan mail that get dumped on your driveway daily. How do you handle it, Sam?
No, I don't get any mail at all. Nobody knows who I am. But, I did write to Maggie, Martha Ray, sent her a Christmas card and told her I missed her and I loved her and all that. She wrote me back immediately. Apparently she wrote everybody back. And she was very much into the troops and going to entertain the troops and all that stuff. And she was really something. And then I'd call up and Ed and he'd go, when are we going to lunch?
That's funny. Anything on the bucket list? Anything you would really you still want to do that you're working towards?
I'd still love to do the producers. I think I do a good Bialystok, although I think I'm a little aged out a little, but I think it could work. And just like to see another. I was going to do Inherit the Wind? It was 1,000 Clowns. A friend of mine wanted me to do this play here in LA, and of course COVID hit. That was the end of it. And I love the part of the brother because the page, the word just jumped out at me. It's like I could just feel that character.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just feel it's right. So you don't want to force yourself to be something you're not. But if a character jumps out and you feel you can do it, like Bialystok or the producers or Inherit the Wind. I always told Ed you should do the Spencer Tracy thing. Yes, been there, done that. So Apparently he's done everything. But you know, 1,000 Clowns would have been a great play for me to do. I would still love to do that. So there things like that. And then when I was at the Geffen Theater, I ran into Alfred Molina, and he was doing Long Day's Journey into Night in the other theater. And I'm going like, he doesn't have to do this. Oh, but he has to because he wants to keep up his craft.
Wants to keep up his craft.
That's it.
Did you ever come across Phyllis Diller or Rodney Dangerfield or any of the others? Rodney.
Oh, Rodney. Rodney was a perfect gentleman. I played Rodney's place in Las Vegas. Sat down, had a nice conversation. He would make me get up and do my act and then tell me, you know, you do a lot of good things. And he liked my my jokes because I did a lot of one-liners, you know?
Yeah.
And that was his thing.
Yeah,
So-
he was just bang, bang, bang. Like Phyllis Diller, too, just bang,
Yeah.
bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, I wrote these jokes about how I have no luck with women. You know, I went to a singles dance. The ages was 40 to 60 plus. Only the plus showed up. I ordered a glass of water. Somebody's teeth were in it. You know, I won the raffle. Oxygen. You know, all
Or
the
Geritol.
Geritol. Yeah. Oh, does anybody remember Geritol? What happened?
So it used to be like the sponsor
Yeah.
of all the game
Yeah.
shows years ago. Brought to you by
Yeah.
Geritol.
Yeah, I finally left when the band was out. It was overwhelmed with the flatulence. You know, was louder than the band. I had to leave. You know, those kind of jokes. Just real fast, real fast. People love that.
Well, they don't even have time to digest the first one, and you're on to the next one, and they're like panting air. That is some of the best. Yeah, I don't know if you really see a lot of that anymore. I mean, I'm trying to think of a few people who do that, just do, and you're like more are getting more into stories about their life and things of that nature. But
Like in my act, I say I'm still dancing professionally. I'm the male stripper at the Jewish Home for the Aged. It's a great job. You come back the next day, they think you're the new guy. So those really work. Those jokes really work. And I get up and I do a strip actually in my act. And then I say I'm still dancing at the, you know.
So when if it's Vegas, it's the strip on the strip?
Yeah, I open up the strip on the strip. I do my strip on the strip. I open my act with that.
Your family, your parents and siblings, everybody else, do you come from a funny family inherently? Were they funny?
No.
That's why you are.
Well, my father was funny. My father was funny. He was very clever. He was a letter carrier for 33 years. He lived to be 102, my father. And all my brothers, I don't know how he did it, but he put them all through medical school. They're all doctors but me. My oldest brother speaks 10 languages, 9 without moving his lips. He's but they're all dead languages, so he has no one to talk to. So he translates dead languages, and I have another brother. They're all doctors. And I was the tap dancer, you know.
Yeah.
What was the funniest part in Blazing Saddles? The one they cut me out of. No, the one they left me. The one I didn't do. But what I was surprised that I recognized all the people, you know, the dancers, you know, in the show. And I'm going, what was I thinking? You know, that was the thing. And they had all these little parts. Mel Brooks gave them all these little lines to say. You know, and getting beat up by cowboys was probably the most fun.
What would you say to anybody who's considering going into the this line of work now in this day and age with so much change and everything being digital and all these different things that are happening now?
Well,
become a doctor? Or?
Yeah, become a doctor. Yeah, that's my advice. Do anything but. Well, if you really want to be in the business, I think learn your craft. Although a lot of times they'll cast you on your looks. You know, you have to look the part. And a lot of people get jobs just the way they look, and they assume you can act.
Right.
So you better have your craft down, you know? But there are people who just, they walk into it, they get the job, they just have to be who they are, and they play that one character. And that's nothing wrong with that. You know, I have a lot of friends who do that, but that's their character on stage, and that's their character in the movies, and all that. But they do have talent. They can write, and they're really good at improv and things like that. That's another craft that comes with the business, especially in comedy today. They want these improv guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I would take I took improv classes, and you want to be able to be ready for just about anything.
How about teaching too? Have you done teaching or thought of teaching others classes and other types of things for those that are, you know, studying this?
Well, I regret that I never became a teacher, because a lot of the actors I know who teach and direct, they got better. They learned to act better because they were able to describe or interpret what somebody else was doing, and it made them a better actor. Believe it or not, teaching helps you with your own talent. How about that?
I'm going to change the name of the show to that. How about that?
How about that?
I'm Jim Masters, and welcome to How About That? That is funny. Well, Sam, this was absolutely amazing. Could you believe we've done 2 hours?
Oh my God.
It feels like 20 minutes, doesn't it?
I know. I thought it would just be, in a half hour, 20 minutes or something, but no. I guess we got into the core of acting.
We've got to the heart of the matter. That's right. We went deep. I
won't have to come back now for 2 years.
Well, the door is always open, and you are more than welcome to come back. I mean, you talk about some of these real veterans in the business, but you are definitely one of the veterans in the business, and you've touched so many lives through your crafts, through your work, through your comedy, through all these different aspects of life that you have touched upon, and all of this creativity. I mean, from movies to commercials to animation to sitcoms to voices, the career has been total versatility, and you've provided such joy and pleasure to, decades, generations of people, and continue to do with great blessing and joy, right?
Right. And if it's your passion, it's not work.
Right.
It's something you get up to do every day that you love. And, all I can say is just do what you love, and
yeah.
And it's a tough business. So
it is. Yeah.
They're the things that you miss that you regret, but you got to move on. It's over.
Right. In a way that you've been doing it a long time. I've been doing it relatively long. We're sort of blessed to be able to still be doing the things that we love, right?
Yes, exactly. You're still doing it, and the more you can do, the more you can survive.
Right.
And I think that's what people miss. If they just do one thing, I mean, I have a lot of friends who do one thing and they're very successful. But I always learned that, you're not going to do this if you can't do that.
Right. That's the way I was trained. Absolutely. Same way, to be versatility, that utility person. Exactly. Is how they used to call it. Jennifer has already invited you back. Sam, come back to Jim's show. Always welcome. Love you. Jen is Zen.
Oh.
As soon as you put the glasses on. What timing. Jen, you're a Zen, but what happened to he'll be back. Here he is. Oh, he's trying to come back. I think I can. I see it popping up. He's trying. That's very funny. You're very welcome, Lorraine. You're very welcome. You too, Jennifer. Some great comments and questions you guys have had all night long. Yeah, come back as somebody else. That's funny. Merlin says, had fun. Come back as someone else. LOL. Maybe he can come back as another character. If you missed, he's trying to get back in. If you missed the incredible 15-minute show reel, we did that, and it was in the beginning of the show. We did the show reel, the demo reel, and you can see some of the clips of him on Bob Newhart and elsewhere. As soon as you put the glasses on, that's when you went.
That's it.
The whole.
I'm sorry about the connection. I don't know what it is.
That's okay. That's okay. What you should have done is said, "This is the love connection, and we'll be back in 2 and 2."
Well, you show me these pretty women that pop up on your screen here, and I'm going, wow, you know, it's so nice to see them.
Like Izzy Gari in Barcelona and Berlin in Canada.
Yeah.
Jennifer and Lorraine.
Oh, Jennifer, look at that. Yeah. Very pretty.
I want Sam as Sam.
And I want Sam.
Not to be confused with son of.
Son of. Oh, God, no. Oh, God.
Just Sam as Sam.
Yeah.
This was amazing, my friend. Thank you very much for joining us on the show, giving us all of this time, all these laughs, and really explaining some of the nuances of these characters and why you love doing what you do so much. And it's obvious that you really, you know, have enjoyed this illustrious career and working with so many incredible people. And you've brought us all such great joy, and we wish you nothing but the best of health, continued success. And I hope maybe when I'm out there on a TV shoot or something, we'll go to lunch when we can. I would love to do that. Connect with you.
Absolutely.
Break bread. And
that'd be great.
You're welcome back here anytime. And I hope you enjoyed your time with us as much as I have with you.
Thank you, Jim. I really do. Really had a great time. You know, it's probably the best interview I've had. I got to tell you, between the two of us. Don't tell anybody. But you know, you guys, seriously, you're really a pro. I really enjoyed working, sitting here and talking to you, and all your fans. It's fantastic.
Wonderful, wonderful people as well. Anything that Quacker would like to say to wrap up as well?
Sure.
Bye-bye. See you later. Bye-bye. I will miss you so much. I love you so much. Oh.
Gilligan loves it.
Bye. See you later. Bye-bye.
And so does your other friend, George Burns. You ever meet him? Ever work with him at all?
Never. I never had the chance. I got to the Friars Club and I met Milton Berle.
Jerry Lewis, probably Jerry Lewis.
Jerry was never there, no.
Was it there? Yeah.
No. But it was really something to see Red Buttons and these guys. Amazing comedians.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Just wanted to see this. Christine in North Carolina writes, it would be great for Sam to pass on his expertise and knowledge of all his voices in various roles to the new actors and voice artists. A very entertaining evening. Thanks for the many stories and your time. So yeah, passing it on to others. Thank you very much, Lorraine. I appreciate those kind comments. Lovity. And Sam, we love you so much. You're now part of the Lovities. You're now a Lovity here on the Jim Masters Show Live, Sam.
It is an honor and a privilege. I can't tell you. That's wonderful. You have such wonderful fans. Terrific.
We really
grateful.
Our pleasure. Now, when we hang up, what are you going to do? Make a tuna melt or have a cup of coffee?
I have to go to
That's what everybody wants to know, you know. What is he going to do after?
I have to do a virtual birthday party and then virtual dinner.
I haven't done that yet. What's that like, a virtual
It's like eating air. And, you make your own sandwich and you hope nobody spits on you.
Are you doing characters too or no?
No, I'm just going to be myself.
Well, your own character. Do you get asked all the time when you are with people, even family and friends, hey, do this character, do that all the time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They all want to know where the dummy is. And they say, you know, what happened to the dummy? I said, well, we broke up the act. He's on his own.
That's right.
Yeah. This part of the show, he went off on his own. We did break up. You know, he's a single act now.
Well, you go have a great time at the virtual birthday party. Don't eat too much cake.
Yes.
And we will welcome you back soon, we hope, Sam. You are absolutely the best, and it was a pleasure having you with us.
Same here, Jim. What a pleasure. Thank you.
You take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
And this time he's really going, folks. He was just teasing before. This is the real goodbye.
Okay.
Take care. Bye-bye. An amazing, iconic actor and comedian, a legend in the business, and a phenomenal guy. He's off to a virtual birthday party. I haven't done one of those yet. I've done a couple of, no, actually I did. Well, it wasn't a virtual birthday party, but it was celebrating a dear friend's birthday. And they had all of us on Zoom screens. We don't use Zoom for this show, but we were all on individual Zoom screens, and we all sang happy birthday to our friend, and we all read notes about our friend, and each person said something special about the friend. So it was kind of cool. There was like about 7 or 8 of us in the various screens, and so he's off to do that. Is he not amazing when you think about the body of work? If you came late to our show, go back to the beginning of it, you'll see like his 15-minute show reel, his demo reel, with clips of his appearances on the Bob Newhart show and the commercials and movies and so many fantastic things he's been a part of, not just with his voices, but a legendary stand-up comedian, as well as a brilliant actor, and then all of the animation and the voice work as well. Go over just a couple of the photos if you missed any of them of his. And he, of course, he was in MAME with Lucille Ball as well, our fantastic guest, SAM KWASMAN, the legend. And we're so excited to have him join us and be a part of our show tonight. He really opened up. I love this. And of course, he's the voice. Isn't that cool? The voice of Quacker. And he does that voice so well. Right there. The voice comes alive. That Quacker comes alive when Sam starts to speak. Really, really cool. An amazing, amazing figure in the entertainment industry, Sam KWASMAN. He was very excited to come on the show tonight. I was very excited to have him. There he is with the one and only Lucille Ball in MAME. Some other great shots as well. She did the voice of Rocky and Rocky and Bullwinkle. He was saying there's that wonderful story about jumping over the hedge in MAME. There he is, Disney on Parade. I think he said he was like 19 years old. Some more great shots over time on set with MAME. Totally Mini. Madeline Kahn. The legendary Martha Ray, there with the legendary Martha Ray as well. Really amazing. Love sharing these. And of course, he got his start in comedy at the Comedy Store, and then he went back. His name is on the wall, of course. This goes back to when he was 19. And that was Disney on Parade there. And that was MAME as well, and set at MAME. There he is when he was on the Bob Newhart show. Again, we showed some clips earlier when we showed his demo reel. That was a very, very, I remember that episode. You can see it in reruns too. I think Antenna TV on cable has it. Tubi may have it. YouTube probably as well. And of course, Letters from a Nut as well. Some more great shots. Of course, he really had some wonderful things to say about working with Patrick Swayze and working with Ed Asner, working with, there's Comedians in Cars, working with Jerry Seinfeld, of course, the incredible Jerry Seinfeld. There he is displaying so many different voices of toys that he's done over the years, even the Talk to Me player and book. He's the Donald Duck voice in that as well, which is really, really amazing. And there he is. I love that shot. He still has that ventriloquist doll, the dummy doll from the Bob Newhart show, which is really amazing. Great guest, really a Hollywood legend. I love when we have an opportunity to speak with folks who have done the work, put in the time, and are still doing it. Like he said, continue to hone your craft. Whatever you do in life, whatever it is you do in life, and continue to hone your craft. Continue to master what you do and who you are and share it with the world. I totally believe in all of that. And to have veteran actor and comedian Sam KWASMAN on as our special guest, live and direct from his home in California tonight on the Jim Master Show Live, was truly an honor and a treat and a wonderful conversation. I'm totally taken back and blessed that he said this is one of the best interviews he's ever had in his career. I mean, that really makes me feel terrific and makes me feel like I'm doing what I do professionally right as well. And I really appreciate those beautiful words from Sam. Want to let you know as well, I'm going to take a look at some viewer comments, but we have some amazing people coming up. Don't miss tomorrow's show. Tomorrow's going to be amazing music and so much more. This is brilliant violinist Alex Depew. He's our exclusive special guest. He's going to play for us. We're going to talk about his incredible career and so much more. He's amazing. And what he can do with the violin, rock, blues, country, jazz, pop, classical, everything. He is unreal, and he can really rock that violin. He's going to be here, Alex Depew, exclusively tomorrow night, which is Thursday, on the Jim Masters Show live. That's going to be fantastic. Do not miss that. You're going to love that show. Great night of music and more. Friday, another Hollywood veteran. This is Bill Foster, brilliant actor and writer and producer and voice actor. He also teaches acting, and he's written several books and does several lectures on getting into the world of acting. If anybody's ever wanted to pursue acting, he has really shown so many people how to do it, how to do it right, and how to be successful at it, and realize that there's a lot of work that's going to be involved and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Saturday night, my incredible friend, this is a music legend, Pepe Castro. He's been involved in so many major bands, but also he has written so many songs for so many singing legends, so many stars. And he's a musician, he's a singer, he's a like a music icon in many ways. And he's written so many songs. He's a dear friend. I've done a lot of different projects with Pepe, and we've gone to dinner with other mutual friends who are in the industry. And he's very excited to be with us, and he's going to be here live Saturday. We're going to have great music, great conversation, and you're going to be blown away when you hear some of the songs that he wrote for others that have just turned those into magical gems as well. Sunday, we're going Irish again. Paul Byram, originally with Celtic Thunder, a brilliant tenor. He was, I think he was designated as one of Ireland's, or if not Ireland's, preeminent young tenor. And he's going to be here. It's going to be midnight for him in Ireland when he comes on, but it'll be 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific for us this Sunday. Terrific music, just so much that's going to be happening. Great conversation. And all of his fans, as well as our fans, are very excited that he's coming on this coming Sunday. Paul Byram. We're so excited, and you'll really enjoy him. A reminder that on September 24th, we're really excited. That happens to be my birthday. And initially we kept that day, guestless, no guest on purpose, because we wanted to just share the day with you guys and with family and friends. We were going to do just a nice, intimate, fun host chat show with you guys. But I got approached by the reps and these fine gentlemen. These are the voices of classic soul, members of the Temptations, the Four Tops, the Platters, and the Drifters. And they have asked to come on the show. So many people are asking to come on the show. I mean, we're booked with guests all the way now till just about November. And we're so excited. They want to come on. They asked me to pick a date for them to come. And I said, are they available the 24th of September? And they said, sure. And I said, well, that happens to be my birthday. And they said, then that's the day we're going to do it. We're going to come and perform and have a great show on September 24th on your birthday, Jim. So I'm really, really humbled and honored that they're doing that. And they're going to be on the Jim Masters Show Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series on September 24th. Just giving you a little preview. Again, members of the Temptations, Platters, Drifters, and Four Tops as well. A couple comments coming in here. You are very, very welcome. Isigari, hope you had a great time watching our show there in Barcelona, Spain. Little Quacker in the middle of the screen, like magician entertainer David Malik. Magic, just Sam would pop on and off at night. Yes, exactly. I'm ready for some Sunday crack. Your show is wonderful, Jim. It's no wonder everyone wants to be on it. Thank you. I appreciate that, Kathy. And we're not, pun intended with your last name, we're definitely not short on our time or our words, right? That's for sure. Thanks for the smile. And Merlin, great compliment. Yeah, absolutely. I was blown away when he said that it's the best interview he's ever had. And he's done a lot of interviews over the years. So I'm very, very humbled by that. And, I do this television work, radio work professionally. So That's a great way to wrap the night, huh? I really appreciate that. He was a lot of fun. He's a straight shooter. He's genuine. He's funny. I'm glad he shared some of those animated voices with us and all those photos and the show reel. If you missed his demo reel, we used it. Sometimes we wait till later in the show to air it. We did it right in the beginning, so you can get a good sense of his humor. He's a ventriloquist. I mean, just a little of everything. Really amazing. Terrific guy. Versatile as well. Well, we say here at the Jim Masters Show every night to relax, to breathe, to take care of one another, love one another, be yourself, be authentic. Don't let anybody get you down. Don't let anybody try to box you in or tell you who you should be or, how to live your life, or just be you. I mean, you're here now, right? So relax, breathe, take time for yourself, love one another, and love yourself. Not in an egotistical, narcissistic way. There's too much of that nonsense out there. In a genuine way, and do things that make you happy, because when you're happy, people will see that and it'll make them happy as well. Share the love, share your talents with the world. That's what we like to do as well. That's what I like to do here on the show. And as always, we say, you know what we say, right? What do we say at this point? I might be the star of the show as the host and producer, but you guys are the stars as well. You, and you, all of you. We all say goodnight. The cast of characters say goodnight, including your favorite Gilligan. We thank once again Sam Kwasman, the brilliant Hollywood iconic actor and voiceover artist and incredible comedian, and so much more. Christopher Joseph, our viewer of the week. Thank you very much, Christopher. Glad you enjoyed it. You had some great comments in there that Sam saw. Sam saw all of the comments as well. We try to make sure our guests see it and that you guys can see each other's comments as well. Enjoy your week of being our viewer of the week, Christopher. Mary Bishop, good night. Stay safe, relax, you as well. Sam himself was awesome. Love him. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, this was terrific. We'll be back with incredible violinist. He's going to be amazing. It's going to blow you away. His talent is extraordinary. Alex Depew is tomorrow night right here. I will be here 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, live. We are on YouTube at Jim Masters TV, Facebook at Jim Masters TV. If you haven't yet, we'd love it if you subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're building that together, and it's incredible. And the amount of views people are giving to these episodes of our series once it's archived on I think over 3,000 people have watched the Ryan Kelly interview, and over 1,000 so far. Neil Byrne from Celtic Thunder, and so much more. It's incredible. We love it. And we love you guys. Thanks for being here every night. Or if this is the first time you're watching our show, we hope you enjoyed it. We hope you had a good time. We put a smile on your face. You learned something new. And we're having a good time doing it for you. A lot of work behind the scenes, but it's always a lot of fun to create the Jim Masters Show live every single night. Whew. Did I say that? Every single night for you guys and for me. We're all enjoying this together. We're all, putting it together and growing. Awesomeness. You too, Christopher. Have a great night, Jim. You as well, Kathy. Tonight is full moon, harvest moon, corn moon, good, happy, magical. Absolutely. Thanks for an excellent evening with Sam. Good night, Jim, and Lovities tonight. The cast of characters. You as well, Christine. You have a wonderful night. Hope you have a nice sleep tonight, resting. Go to bed early. I know you stay up late, Christine. Go to bed early. I think Willie already went to bed. Night, Christine Fairwood. They're in Connecticut. All right, gang. We love you guys. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow. We're going to wrap up our show in style with our usual theme music. I know when our theme music plays in the beginning and our theme music to the Jim Masters Show Live plays at the end, I can picture Jennifer Berry just jumping around and dancing to the theme. She says she loves our theme music. Da-na-na, 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 da-na. Catchy, yeah. It was made exclusively for our show. And we're going to be doing some new things too. We got a lot of cool things we're doing with the show. Little by little, we're adding different elements into the show as we go along. So we have a lot planned for this series every night. But I know Jennifer is all excited when she hears the closing and the opening theme to the Jim Masters show. She jumps around in her living room and she's doing backflips and humming to the music, with the Jim Masters Show singers and orchestra. All right, gang, we're going to, one more coming in. We're going to get ready to play that theme because I know Jennifer, it makes Jen very zen when she hears it. All right, gang, here she comes. Here's our theme. Here's our ending. You have a good night. All right, you take care. Thanks for being with us. We love you all. We're back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, right here on the Jim Masters Show live. I knew it. I knew it. You're going to dance to the Jim Masters Singers and Orchestra as we get ready to close and our crew gets ready to play our theme for us. Get ready to hit that theme because Jen will be extra zen when she hears it. Good night from Issy Gari in Barcelona as well, Issy. Thank you for being with us and everybody who's been with us. Not everybody that watches comments. I know that sometimes it seems like the only people watching are commenting. There's a lot of people who watch. They just don't comment. They just enjoy the show, which is cool because I hear from them later. Sometimes they'll write me a note. Sometimes they'll do a Facebook message, Instagram message saying, I love the show last night. And I'm like, oh, you were watching? They're like, oh, yeah, I just didn't comment. And then a lot of people watch it in the archives when it is available on YouTube, which it is right now because we stream it. Gem is Zen. You want me to bring back the disco ball one of these nights instead of our logo, huh? Maybe we'll do that. But I used to sit, remember? I'm standing now when I do this, so I move around a lot. The first thing I do is I put up my legs. But you want the disco ball back. Maybe one of these Saturday nights we'll do that. We have so many guests booked, but maybe one of these nights we'll do the disco ball as well. Good night to all of you in Wichita, Kansas. You, Marilyn, and yours as well. They're watching as well. So you get a lot of people that watch as well. They just don't comment because they're enjoying the show and don't have anything to say, but we know you're there and we love it. And you dance to the music. Well, get ready to dance because here is your theme to the Jim Masters Show from the Jim Masters Singers and Orchestra. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for all the great comments, the interaction, and all the levity here on the Jim Masters Show Live. We'll see you tomorrow, okay? Time to get some rest and a bite to eat. Good night. Love you all. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.